What up? My name is Philip Martin. I've closed over $1 million for myself and my clients. And today, what I want to talk to you about is this guide that I'm putting together for you guys. I am super stoked on this. I think this is really going to help a lot of people, myself included. I made this for myself originally because I was super sick of getting the runaround in these gigs that, and by gigs, I mean closing gigs, right? People doing sales call funnels of some kind. And I ended up just getting the run. I worked with pretty legit sales placement agencies, pretty well known. I'm actually going to make a video about that separately, but we can talk about that a little bit here today. But really in this video, what I want to do is I just want to give you the full rundown of what to expect as a closer. And I want to tell you all the stuff that they're not going to tell you in the ads and the courses that they sell you. Okay. In my other previous businesses, have only worked with really high tier top ticket clients. And so in my communications with you, you just need to understand that I'm going to be talking at a really high level here, and I'm going to be talking in a way that's very all-encompassing, right? I think we often overlook, we're so focused on the one thing that we overlook really just the basics. We overlook the fundamentals, and we overlook the overview. And so what I put together here for you today and why I'm sharing that screen with you is I have assembled here for us to go over today about 5 questions. Now, what is this? What am I even talking about? What is this guide? This guide is for you to save yourself weeks and generally months of your life, wasting a month at a time, going from gig to gig to gig to gig to gig to gig to gig. That doesn't work out. Their systems weren't in order. They're like that. So that's what this is about. And I've made a list of questions. It's an all-encompassing list of everything you could possibly need to know about a gig going in, so that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Everything is extremely clear up front, and you're not going to get yourself into these situations like I did, even myself. That's where this came from, is my own frustration and pain and struggle of seeing the ads. I saw the ads. I've been through so many of the sales courses, and don't get me wrong, every one of them taught me something. But when it came time to actually get a gig, that's where all the magic happens. And that's in the courses that I've been in. I haven't been in all of them, but I've been in a good few of them. And I've been in this self-help education, business education industry for over 10 years now. Been thinking about learning business for 10 years now. I started doing business when I was 22. Okay, I'm 28. That's 6 years of making real money in my own businesses. Okay, so I really know what I'm talking about here. I've been a part of hundreds of transactions. And one thing we're going to talk about a lot here today is decision-making facilitation. That's what you need to think of sales as. This is not sales. Okay. I literally learned from the best in the world, and I'm here to pass, my experience and those nuggets on from the best people in the world, such as Jim Miller. He helped, she trained people with Tony Robbins in sales. Alex Becker, I've learned sales from him. Learned sales from Derek Moneyberg, learned sales from Max Torno, learned sales from the CMO of Ty Lopez and many other companies. Got mentored by them for years, literally every week. And I've taught sales for him actually. And I've been featured in other people's courses that teach sales. Okay, so this is where I live. This is what I do. This is what I know the most. And it's the most fun to me. That's really part of what this is to me. And I'm going to break down for you how to really think about this in a successful way, in a way to constantly keep your pipe drive full of new potential gigs. Okay, I just picked up one yesterday. Let me give you an example. Okay, I can't wait to just blow this channel. I have so many experiences to share with you guys, and I'll just share my most recent one. Literally today, I started a new gig. And if you go back and watch my video about how to attract these clients and interview these companies that you would potentially want to close for, I move this bubble up here so maybe I kind of look at the camera a little more. Maybe that helps. I started a new gig today that I negotiated and closed the guy yesterday. And if you go back and watch my video, I tell you how a lot of the people that you're going to end up closing for are people that you already know, that are in your network, that they should be in your network. You should be networking with all my friends are business owners. Everybody I know is a business owner. I'm sure there's like some exceptions. And hey, look, anybody doing honest work deserves all the credit. Everybody doing real honest work deserves credit. Okay. So the point I'm making is the more business people, friends you can have, the more likely they are to pick you over somebody they don't know, rather than just straight up going and hiring somebody cold and then having to train. That's the thing about me. That's the thing about when I went through an experience. I don't need to be trained on how to sell when I come into something. That's a big bonus. These companies, like, they don't need to train me. They need to train me on their systems. I need to know their systems, and I need to know the specific selling points of their product. But I find all of that out on the front end, going in before I ever even accept anything. I know everything that I'm going to need to know going into the gig for me to know that it's even feasible. Okay, it's to drop a little real estate term here. It's really a feasibility study on a business to ask myself, hey, is this something I can even close for? And this area absolutely fascinates me, and part of why I absolutely love this, I am compulsively obsessed with understanding why people do the things that they do and what goes on between their ears, and why people say yes 9 times, and then when it comes time to make a decision, they say no. If you're in sales, you know what I'm talking about. So why is that, and how do we prevent that from happening, right? Then we get into funnels very quickly and everything else, and that's part of, maybe, you can see here so generally there are 5 areas that there are 5 separate sections of this person's business that you're gonna want to ask them about. And let's see if I can keep it without giving away the farm here. Yeah. So there's general questions about the business, just kind of like the industry, the offer, this is the thing that I'm really working on for you guys here. This is what I called it. This is what I had in my head. The life-saving inbound closer potential partner interview questions guide. And so I'm writing up a thing about this guy and how to use it. But anyway, the general questions are just like, what is the offer? What industry is it in? Stuff like that. Then we got funnel questions, right? We're going to be asking, oh, what the hell? We're going to be asking funnel questions. And then we're going to have some money questions about the business and some target audience criteria. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever, 4, and then 5 if you include the life of actually living this life, and how to that's the life of a closer is the glue. See, I'm detailing here like the kind of hours and stuff you're going to want to, how you're going to want to structure this depending on where you are, because sales is very finicky in the sense that if you don't for example, it's really bad for you to be closing for a very unqualified target audience. It's bad for your psychology. It's bad for your winner effect. If you can't hit if a certain ratio of people aren't saying yes to you in any funnel, it's a bad thing. And it's bad for your psychology, and it actually makes you worse at sales, right? So And that can be due to a number of reasons. I mean, I've taken sales calls where literally like, we're in the get to know me part, I'm like interviewing this person basically. And, 10 minutes in, I find out they just got out of jail or are in a homeless person shelter. Now, if that brand is marketing properly, why is the lady from a homeless shelter scheduling the call? Did he not draw the boundary in the brand hard enough for the target audience? Obviously not. Okay, so these are the more you know about funnels, right? Why did that happen? That was a cold traffic funnel. That's not an organic YouTube funnel. Depending on the funnel is going to have a massive impact on your life as a closer, massively. So you're going to want to understand that, but that doesn't mean that you need to be a marketing agency, right? I'm wonderful at marketing. I've made a lot of money doing marketing. That's great. But I also enjoy this truly more. I like the communication part of it. It's a game to me. It's fun to me. And I like marketing too, but I like marketing my own way. I don't love running ads in the way that I love like making organic content per se. But, I'm sure, if enough dollars return, I'm sure I can learn to love. But anyway, back to the points here. So you're going to want to know all these things here. And so I basically, there we go. Okay. So I basically just grabbed one question from each section to go over here with you today. So you can really start to get a feel and a grasp for like what it is. You can read that later when you get it, when you get this guide. I'll drop I'll put a link to it in the description. So don't worry about that. But I'm going to go over this guide with you here. First, I'm going to tell you real quick about the gig that I just secured yesterday. I negotiated an upfront starting fee. I wanted 2 weeks. I wanted 2 weeks base pay to start. Okay. And then I get paid on a weekly basis. I asked for $1,000 a week. I said, look, like, for me to give a shit, for me to even fucking show up, I'm going to need $1,000 a week. So I got that. And this is a super high ticket. So, the way that this business works, first of all, the barrier to entry in this business is very high. So the industry of this business is I mean, we literally have a list of 40,000 leads to go through, and he has arbitrage people setting it all up, like appointments, and the calls are only 15 minutes. And like tomorrow is my second day. We did like training today. He walked me through the technology aspect of it, and I watched him. We listened to one call, and I watched him do one call, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is because it's so niche, and there's a fairly high barrier to entry, but there's literally like 2 other people doing it in the state, and he's already doing it at quite a high level. So he also so to tell you how to vet these people, I know that he made a few $1 million on Amazon last year. He's a real business person that ran real teams in the publishing niche, right? He published books. And so his systems and processes game is on point, but he needs a closer. Every business needs a freaking closer. Every business needs a closer. You can make a living as a closer, literally. Okay. So him and I, part of our talk today was, I'm like, bro, like you need to work on the business. I need to work in the business. And whenever he talks about all these crazy business problems, I mean, I help him solve them, right? I talk them through with him. But at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, buddy, that is your problem, right? There's part of that dynamic in this. I'm more involved in this game because I'm going to get a higher percentage on the back end because I'm going to take on a few more extra responsibilities. And, I'm going to get, up to 50. I think 25% commission is reasonable based on everything, right? A lot of details, but it's very high ticket, right? The average deal size is like 7 to 10K. 7 to 10K, and it's just paperwork. It's just pushing papers, in which he has the team to do. But yeah, so they did 200K. They made 20K last month, right? Because I talk about this in my video of like how I say this in the guide. You need to know how much these people are making. before you just take on a gig, right? And last month they did 200K, they made 20 grand, right? And his goal is 500K in deal size, so 50K a month commission. He's already halfway there. And because I know if this was just his first business, I would not be nearly as confident as I am. But because I know for a fact he made a few million off of Amazon, like in a very systems and processes dense business last year, I'm like, let's go. I know this guy's going to do great. And so, and I want to get it to the point to where I just manage the VAs for him, and I just make it to where he doesn't lift a finger, and I just get 50% of the business, right? So, right, I get 4K, I get a grand 4K, a fucking month to give a shit, and then that'd be like 25K on top of that. It'd be like 29K. I mean that's more than like a lot of lawyers and doctors and people. You know what I mean? Like literally, go look it up. So, what is that? 29? Yeah, it's like 350 a year or something. To me, that's like okay, like you're in the game. Like you got a grand a day, all right, you're in the game for business. That's like an okay year in entrepreneurship. To me. Okay, to me. It's like okay. It's nothing insane, but that's just I want to do that just from closing, right? And then I have other goals for like my community, for the value that I'm going to provide to everybody else. And so, I really do, in terms of giving you guys a path to follow, you absolutely need a path to follow. You're going to go make every mistake. I already ran my own businesses and made my own sales. And then I learned something about myself through a lot of pain and suffering. And I said, you know what? I think I could do this at a really high level, and I'd be a lot happier doing it. I'd be a lot happier doing it. And guess what? I am. Ha! Ha, ha, ha. Crazy. All right. So how do we use this guide? All right. So these are 5 questions that I bet that you don't even ask the people that you are interviewing to close. First of all, you should be interviewing them. That is the whole premise of this guide, is that you need to interview them. That's what you're thinking. And I give you some criteria in the full guide as to exactly what, is going to need to go into that for all, like what you should expect. Right. So, so I'm very excited about that gig. I have another gig that's like very, come and go as I please. Plenty of leads, very fun. I absolutely love doing these calls. Those calls are more like, an hour or so long, not as high ticket. You only get paid once a month. And, the quality of person, because in this other business, new business, like we called somebody that had, a $13,000 deal, and, she just needed that 13K. She had literally been homeless for like 3 years, and we were just like, hey, do you want this 13K that you're owed? And she's like, yeah. We're not even selling money at that point. We're giving money away. It's a crazy business model. It's super insane. It's so ridiculous. But that's what I love about this, is you come across some like crazy offers, right? Like I have another, person that I work with that was like, a tax planner for the likes of Apple and whatnot for many years. And he has a real estate company now. And, should anybody, I basically do these like brainstorms, but, I introduce them to people. We have a brainstorm and we all get to learn a lot from each other. And it's just a lot of fucking fun is what it is. And, we're just like buds, you know what I mean? We're just kind of like bros. He actually did refer me to this closing gig where these people are making like $500,000 a year. I'm going to interview for that this week. See what I mean? It's just always new opportunities coming my way. Always. I have like several to follow up with. So just connecting me with people. You know what I mean? And so if anybody should, invest, give him $1 million for, for his hyper specialized investments, I would get 4% of that. I would get 4% of that. For doing what? Talking to people. It's just talking to people. That's literally all sales is, just talking to people. And then, maybe delegating, managing some VA or, like a CRM system that should be mostly automated. I just like it because it's like a game to me. But anyway, so those are the 3 gigs that I currently have right now. Okay. And I didn't interview for any of them. They literally gave them to me. And we're like, yes, please. Like, could you, like, here's 2 weeks pay up front. Will you please start now? Like, we want you now, and you have, great potential to make a ton of money. And you get to keep your own hours, do as many calls as you want per day. And, because I provide a lot of value to the team and, helping, anybody like, dude, I'm helping this guy, the guy with the newest one with the, upfront fee. Like, I'm really helping him map out his systems in his, because he's never done a sales call funnel before, if you will. He's sold like products. That's e-commerce. That's very different. It's similar but different. Anyway, okay, not the point. So this is what this is. This is a guide for you to always have very awesome, unique opportunities coming your way, and then how to vet them, okay, as a closer. All right, so this one right here, number 1, is this a blue ocean or red ocean offer? Let's get started. All right, so this, and I give you a question that you're gonna ask the person in your interview with them, okay? And I give you an explanation as to why, like what this tells you and why it's important. So this will exponentially impact your income. It's not a requirement for it to be blue ocean, as a true blue ocean offer is pretty rare by definition. That's very true. But you do need to know who the company's top 3 competitors are if you're seriously considering this gig, okay? So I would always recommend that because they're going to come up. This is everything in this guide is shit. It's going to come up. It is going to come up. Every single thing that I put in this guide is going to come up. Okay. So why would you not find it out going in? What's the fucking point? Why would you not find it out going in? You know what I mean? So, you're going to want to know all this, okay? This is like your dashboard for every gig. It's going to tell you everything you need to know before you even step into a gig, because I did this. I see so many people do this. They literally just start taking gigs left, right, and center, and it's a massive waste of time. So, and now if you don't know what a blue ocean or a red ocean offer is, maybe check out, like, go read like a sales book or something. Go read like spin selling or something for your first time. I don't know, but this might not be for you. Okay, I really only want, like, this is for people that, like, they've been a closer, they know they're going to continue to be a closer, and they're going to be somewhat familiar with everything that I'm talking about here, but they may not be using it in the right way, okay? But they should be vaguely familiar with these terms, right? Because this is for people that really want to make a ton of money as a closer. This is not for people that want to make like 3 to 5K a month. It's for people that want to make like minimum like 10K starting, a month, and then you want to quickly get to at least 20, 30K, and then there's levels beyond that. But just to really be in the game, kind of like I was talking about earlier, you want to be scratching $1,000 a day as a closer. If you're not making $1,000 a day, you're doing it wrong. So, blue ocean or red ocean? Red ocean, give you an example of a red ocean, like the fitness industry, red ocean. Now, it might not be a red ocean offer. So is the industry a red ocean, or is the offer a red ocean? Okay. So very important. Go do some research. If you're not familiar with these terms, go read up. Go read up on these here, and you'll understand the importance of this. Okay. That's kind of a general question. I have that in the general section. How long has the customer been following before they buy? Are the people getting on the phone and going, did you have the conversation with the guy, with the closer, or sorry, the business owner that wants to hire you to be a closer? And he's like, yeah, you have, this is great. We have an amazing opportunity here for you. Yeah, we crush it in marketing. We crush our marketing. We do our marketing so good. And then, 1 out of 4 people on the call, don't show up. The other 1 out of 4 people don't know why they're there. And the other 2 people have only been following for, a week or 2. I've worked in businesses that were making $50K a month that were like that. Okay. So these are things to think about. Okay. Ideally, they've been following for a long, long, long time. All right. The longer, the better. But there's an optimized point where somewhere, based on how the funnels are set up, they should have like a buying, the calls to action within the funnel that, they shouldn't just be following for like 3 years. It was crazy. I was on a call the other day with a brand I'm working for, and this guy was like, yeah, I followed you guys for like 3 years. It was a coaching call for the clients in the company that I sell for. And I wanted to hop on the call, the coaching call, to make sure that what I'm selling is people is real. Okay. And it absolutely was amazing. And I know it was, but I also get to learn in there. I get coached too, but, perks, right? I'm getting the same coaching that these people paid, whatever, $5K to be in. I'm getting it, as a part of their sales team. Okay. So that's worth something. Fuck, what the hell was I saying here? Distracted myself. They should. Well, the guy in there was like, I've followed you guys for like 3 years before I ever bought anything at all. And these people have product catalog all up and down the entire tiers. And, sorry, it's like 2:30 in the morning. It's going to be 3 in the morning here. So I just wanted to hop on and do this quick video for you guys. Cause I was just really feeling it. And I think that it's just absolute, like everything in this guide is going to come up eventually, but I really just wanted to make kind of a longer video for you guys to understand kind of the full scope and magnitude of this. Okay. So how long, right? So I'll contrast the one business where I said, 2 of them, one doesn't show up, the other one doesn't know who we are, why they're there, but they show up to the call somehow. That happened often. It was super weird. And then the other 2 haven't been following long enough to buy. Following long enough to buy is a crucial factor. It will come up and it will screw you if you don't know this. Okay. So let's just go through it here. This is mega important. You absolutely must know that this going in. If their calls are made up of people that heard about the brand a week ago, that's generally going to be a pretty tough sale. You want someone that doesn't squeeze their audience too often because they have an actual brand people love because it's awesome. Okay. I was having like a massive brain blast when I was writing this, and this is key insight here. Okay. You really want to understand the magnitude of this. This is why Nike doesn't have to run, like nobody knocked on your door and had to sell you Nike shoes. Nike has the brand, you buy the shoes. You want to identify if this company has that. How much selling are you going to have to do? How much of the selling has already been done in the marketing? You really only need sales if you have bad marketing. all the objections should be being handled in the marketing. Are they handling all the objections in the marketing? What are they making content about? Are they educating their audience? How educate like that? A company could have amazing marketing. I worked in the solar industry. I sold for the #1 solar company in the country and in the world actually, and it's a publicly traded solar company. And my cat's gonna come say hi. And they had amazing marketing, but the people that would get on these calls were just clueless. They were just, I mean, they're just absolutely clueless. So that company needed to do a much better job. It was amazing. It's the way some of these companies work, man. It's hilarious. Oh, what's up, Bo? Beauregard. Okay. It's awake time. Okay. So, crucial fact. You must find this out. How long has your average customer been following? Where in the cycle do they buy? Okay. If they don't know that, what are they even doing? If they're not asking that in their call booking page, what are they even doing? Okay. This is a good one. This is really important. How much did they spend on ads in the last 12 months and the last month? Okay. My buddy that did his Amazon business was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads. You know what I mean? Like, I know that he invests in his business. He's already, you know, obviously paid for me and a bunch of other stuff up front in this business. I know he's going to continue to invest in this business. This tells you if they're investing in their business and have a financial interest in keeping it alive. If they just have like 2 VAs sending random people messages on LinkedIn asking them if they want to talk about their business and then calling that a sales call, is that really a sales call? Really? Really? That sounds a lot more like networking to me. Okay? I wouldn't call that. Now look, I'm a fan of the 5-minute call of people that have been following me for a long time. And I will say, it's much, the person, if it's a personal brand, that person has to be giving credibility to their team and talking about their team if they want somebody to be closing for them in the marketing as much, like, all the time. Like, it can't just be all about the person's personal brand and then they try to bring it and then you hop on the call and they're like, wait, so who are you? They're all just going to want to talk to the guy, right? So you have to incorporate that into the marketing if that's going to be your specific process. Okay. So obviously the longer they've been in business, the better. That's kind of a separate point, but I always just want 12 months in last month, because I will be able to tell if their last month was like higher or lower than their average. And I know they have a financial interest in investing in their company. So they're gonna train me more. They're gonna invest in me. They're gonna make sure that it works a whole hell of a lot more. Okay. So what's their client's average salary? How good are these people? Who are we talking to? You want to know. You want to know going in, what kind of people are you going to be talking to every day? Like, that it is your life. This is going to make up a lot of your life. You should be spending at least, a minimum of 4 hours on the phone every day talking. 4 hours talk time, 5 hours to do it. That's what I do. Give myself 5 hours to do it. My Cloud Talk tells me, I don't know if you guys could see that. I just whoops. I don't know. Anyway, my Cloud Talk keeps track of the talk time, and I keep track on my timer. I set my timer for 5 hours on my phone, and I get busy. So this is going to be a big part of your life, because this is, like I said, this is for people that want to make a ton of money. This is not for people that want to make a little bit of money. If I know I can make $1,000 a day, I will work 12 hours a day to do it. And if I can make $1,000 a day, you tell me I can't figure out how to make 2 if I get better at closing and I raise my ratios. Okay? So, because, like, do you know how hard that is to do in a business? When you have to start the entire business and run it yourself, that $1,000 a day, most lawyers don't make that. Most. Okay? So the really good ones do better than that, obviously. But they should have this data from their booking page. If they're not qualifying people on the booking page, don't work with them. That's insane. And I mean asking a few BS, and I don't mean asking a few BS questions. I don't mean like 3 like soft questions. I mean, you need to be asking the like medium you're asking the hard questions on the call, you're asking the medium questions on the booking page, you're asking the soft questions, in the marketing. So you need to have a profile of the person that you're going to be talking to, so you know what you're walking into. Deal size, where did they come in from in the funnel, how long have they been following, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm just saying, so a booking page is a separate issue, but their salary is gonna, if they're making 25 to 50K or 0 to 25K a month, I can't even 0 to 25K a year, they're broke. That's called being broke. Okay, so do you want to be talking to broke people all day? Okay, how much is it? What you're selling needs to match their salary. What you're selling needs to match their salary. Otherwise, it's going to just boggle their mind too much. Then you're going to talk them into getting PayPal credit, and it's going to be a whole thing. Wouldn't you much rather have the marketing be done properly up front, so that by the time they're getting to you, they're just asking, like, how do I give you money? That's real. I did that. I've done that. I've done marketing like that. And I've made sales like that. That's the right way to do it. Okay? It's called branding. Okay? So what's their average salary? You're going to be talking to broke people all day? Don't talk to broke people all day. It'll get on you. Do you even ask for a startup fee? This is the money. This is part of the how you get paid section. I have a whole section in there on what you're going to want to negotiate for that you probably haven't even thought of. But this is part of that here, the fee, and I give you a good reason here. I love that one. But this is target audience research section. This is business money questions section. Customer is a funnel question and a general question. So general question, and every one of these in my real guide, in the full guide, has like 5 to 10 questions in every one of these sections, just like this, that are equally as important, that are going to come up at some point in the gig in the first month. Everything here is going to come up in the first month, somewhere in the first month. So you might as well ask it going in, save yourself the month. All right. So general questions, funnel questions, business money questions, target audience questions, how do you get paid questions, and negotiation tactics. So you want 1 month up front. What do landlords do when you tell them you're going to pay them every month for the next 12 months? Because that's what these people are telling you. They're saying, yeah, come work with us. We're going to pay you every month. That's what they're saying. That's their pitch to you. Yeah, we have a great offer. We got, our great funnel. We're going to pay you every month. Oh, but commission only. Commission only. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. What if, why do landlords get a security deposit? They get 1 month up front as insurance in case you damage the property or have to break the lease or waste their fucking time, right? So if 1 month in their systems 1 month in their systems fall apart, you didn't just waste a month of your life. Okay. I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me. Okay. And it is frustrating. And this happened to me in people that I used a placement agency in. I used a multi-million-dollar placement agency, and this is what I got. I did end up negotiating a base. I did do that so that it didn't totally waste my time. I did it like 2 weeks in because this guy was just so, like, the people that they placed me with, such a goofy story. I'm going to tell this story on a different video. But one man, 1 second. Excuse me. The person that they placed me with, one-man show with like 2 or 3 VAs, personal brand. The guy's been in business for a long time. Older dude, married, kids, making 40, 50K a month, doing all right. He worked in corporate or some shit before that, And so anyway, like we had to start like incorporating like me into his marketing in different places in his funnels, because he didn't even have an SOP for that. That was like, that should have been done day one, minute one. And it took like all this like cajoling and being like, hey, you know, what might be a good idea, you know? And it's, I mean, you know, people get an ego, you know, and that's the thing about being a closer. Like, you have to be really firm with these people so they understand that you understand what the hell you're talking about, because otherwise, what are you doing? They're not gonna take your advice when it comes to touching up the sales process, right? And so that's what I like a lot about the guy that I just started working with now, my buddy. This is like my buddy too. Like, we've spent a lot of time together. Actually, I should like mention that as well. Like, we've had a lot of fun together, and so it's just really cool. And that's also what I like about this is you can get a lot of these like, I've had gigs where like for some like fine art gigs and offers, right? Like, I sold real estate, I've sold coaching, I've sold different stuff. Hey, cat. Is you can get these, like, I've done, you know, I had one corporate gig for a while there, and I'm glad I did. I learned a lot, but you can get these more unique, fun environment where you're only you don't want to waste your life talking to people you don't want to talk to. You don't want to do that. That's not what you want to do. So what you want to do is talk to people in a target audience that you resonate with. These calls should be fun to you. If these calls aren't fun to you, you're doing it wrong and you're going to fail. It's like secret ingredient. I mean, you should know that. Super basic. So you want 1 month up front. You know, I got 2 weeks in this case. Hey, you know, you got to meet him somewhere. But everything else checked out enough to where I wasn't worried about it. I'm not like stressing that I didn't get the other 2 weeks, because all these other factors that are in the rest of the guide line up and add up and check out for me to gauge. Now that I have the full pic, you don't even know how to feel going into a gig if you don't have this guide. If you don't have these 25 or more questions answered going into this guide, like, you literally don't even have all the information to know what kind of decision you're even making going into it. Okay. Guess I should have had the camera there the whole time. Whoops. Nonetheless, so that's what you're gonna need this. You're absolutely going to need this. And you can either waste like 6 months of your life. Like, I've literally burned through like 20 or so in the last year and a half, 20 or so like gigs that seemed good enough for me to take up and say yes to, that ended up, like seven of them like made money. Like, I made like some amount of money out of them. Some of them were better than others, but you really don't want to have to go through that. You don't want to have to go through that. Why would you want to do that? Okay. So that's why I made you this guide, is because like I made this for myself, because I just got so like, and I know business. I know business, but I would ask questions up front going in, but every time, like, I just never asked like all the questions. Like, I would think that I did, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I asked them about the money or the this, and then it's like, oh dude, I didn't ask about it. Because I'm not seriously interviewing them. I wasn't in all of them. Of course I wasn't. Of course I started out like just regular, like, you know, like, hey, you know, yeah, oh, it makes sense. You would want to interview me and hear recording my sales call. Like, that's fine. And I'll still do that. I have other videos explaining exactly what you need to show these people. That's really even better than an interview, really. It's like a package. It's like a hire me package, to where, like, I mean, yeah, you can interview me, but like, first of all, just, you know, look at this, this, and this, and listen to this, and you would have all the information you would need to know to be able to know if you want to close me, bring me on as a closer. So that makes now you've leveraged your interview process. You don't really have to interview these people. You just send them the same thing, and you're taking it to the next level. So I made this because it was tough, legitimately frustrating. And I spoke with a guy the other day. He showed me a Stripe account. He made $94,000 in straight up commissions. $94,000 in straight up commissions. You know, does he have 900% more hours in a day than you and I? If you're making 10K a month, does he have 900% more hours in a day, 9 times the amount of hours in a day? You know, if he's working 8 hours a day, if we're working 8 hours a day, does he have 72 hours in a day? Why is he getting 900% of the result? Right? So this is part of that. This is part of that. But that's what I'm saying. This is only like 20% of what you need to know going in. I have at least 25 other questions that I kind of wrote, just kind of a little like spiel here for you guys. So go pick this up in the description. The link to this file is in here. Just go ahead and go pick this up and give it a read. Go ahead and start using it and get your feelers out there. You know, get your feelers out there. And whenever I'm done with this full guide, I'll let you guys know, and you'll be able to pick it up. I'm gonna make it like what is 6 months of your life worth? What is 6 months of your life worth? If your goal is to make $1,000 a day, 6 months of your life is worth 180 grand, but you're gonna waste it looking for that gig that's gonna get you to the $1,000 a day. You're not going to find it in your first call. Okay. In your first gig, you're literally going to have to, you're going to have to literally eat gravel going through these gigs. You don't want to do that. Okay. So for a few $100, if you use it once, if you use the guide once and it saves you from getting into a shitty gig, it paid for itself. It paid for itself, because you're coming out of some course, or maybe you've been doing this for a while, but this is like anything else. 10, 5, 10, 1% of the people get 90% of the results, right? Like 90% of realtors make zero money, or like less than like 25K a year, which might as well be zero anyway. Make like less than 25K a year, realtors. Okay. So you want to be in that top 1%, top 5% of your industry. And this is part of how you're going to do that. Cause you're not just going to go like it's going to take like some like serious investigative work to lock in. If you could just lock in a gig that made you 30K a month, you wouldn't be watching this video. So, figure that out. Because I've made 30K a month. It's amazing. I love making $7,000 a week. It's awesome. It makes life a lot better. And I think about all the other, like, they're building some shit on my street the other day. I'm like, dude, that guy's not getting paid like $20 an hour to like shovel the gravel, or like what? Maybe nowadays maybe $20 an hour, but that's recent. But man, like you have the opportunity to have fun making. You get to have the opportunity to make money while you socialize and just have a structured conversation. So that's why you better like the offer. You better like the target audience. You better like their system of bringing in prospects. I'm a massive fan of simplicity. Massive fan of business reductionism, and that's part of why I do this, is because it's just the same thing, just over and over and over and over again with different people, and every single human being is different. Everybody truly is, and everybody's going to feel different ways, think different things. But I'm solving one problem continuously, and anybody that's ever done any kind of sport, how do you get better? You just do repetition, and then eventually you just get so good, it's like you're making 7 out of 10 free throws, not even really trying. And if the marketing funnel is doing its job properly, it should be like making a free throw. It should, if you're having to like save every call, that's crazy. Like it should be a lot more like taking orders, and your focus should be not overselling. You should be more focused on not overselling if the company is doing better than doing a good job on their marketing. So I really advise all of you guys to take this to heart. And, you know, if you've been, I think this is an amazing way to make a living. I really genuinely do. After running the 2 businesses that I have, you can watch my other videos. I talk more about that. But this is an amazing way to make a living for anybody that's extroverted, that doesn't want to take on the full risk of starting. I look at it like these businesses work for me. To me, they're all just a lead gen company and a fulfillment company, and I just do the calls. I'm my own closing agency. I'm my own closing agency. You understand that? Do you see this? Do you get it? Okay. Because they have to do all the other work. And then I just make sure my calendar is full. And if I have to have 2 to 3 offers to do it, I'm fine with that. Gives me a little, I'm not talking about the same thing all day, every day. It's way better. It switches up my day. I get, each gig I have gives me, literally, I get coaching from people that charge $25K an hour to billionaires in one of my gigs. Okay. And my other gig, the guy like owns hotels in like the Virgin Islands and is like, if I ever want to go down there, he's got me. Perks. My third gig, the calls are only 15 minutes. That's amazing. And the person I'm working with is quite chill. Obviously, results is like, but I'm saying like he's very good about training me on the systems that he's using, and I really like it a lot. So between the 3 of those, I'm quite entertained. I love all 3 of those calls. I feel like a gymnast flying through the air when I'm doing these calls. That's how you should feel. That's how you're gonna feel, and that's how you should feel when you're winning. That's how winning feels. You've got it down to a system. Every single thing that's going to need to happen for you to be successful from start to finish, nothing more, nothing less. And then that's it. All right. So, and this allows you a lot of freedom, right? Like you basically get to say, hey, like I'm available at these hours, for this brand, my window of hours for this brand is from this time to this time. I can do this many calls, schedule them in, 45-minute increments, 15-minute break after every call. So, if you're doing 45-minute call, that's a long call. Like an hour-long call, that's a long call. That's a long time to be talking to somebody. You should be able to gauge if they're serious or not sooner. And you should just be constantly be disqualifying them. Okay. So you don't want to be wasting your time with people that can't make a decision. So you need to be able to sniff that out. I'm like a bloodhound. That's almost that may be the one. I think that might be the superpower that comes from this, because the more it's like I have a sixth sense, dude. It's like it takes a real, I don't want to say sociopath, but it takes a real, it takes like a cold-blooded liar to just straight up lie to my face. I have a very, very, very high good gauge of whether or not somebody's going to do something based on the information I can get out of them about themselves. So this is just a rundown, and I just wanted to share this information with you guys because, like I said, I absolutely love this life. This is an amazing life. My stress level is like non-existent, right? Like sales is a really stressful thing to a lot of people, and it is a stressful thing. If you do it wrong, yeah, that's going to suck. That is going to suck. But you're going to want to actually just do it right. get the resources that are available to you, like this guide. And what's up, Beauregard? My cat's going crazy. So use the resources available to you. Use the resources available to you. This is human communication. You've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years. All right. All we're doing is talking to people, and anybody that's, I would say, it's by definition, if you're just an introvert, that's going to be a tough thing for you to do. Why would you pick this kind of thing if you're an introvert? Probably don't do that. But I'm very excited about this for you guys. I think that you're going to get a ton of value out of this, and the value, like I just said, the value on this is insane. If you avoid one bad gig, it's paid for itself 10 times over, literally more. It's going to be super affordable, and it's going to be every single thing you could possibly need to know about a gig going into it to just completely save everything you're going to need. So I'm sure I'll be putting a link as soon as it's done nearby, this link. So click that link. Okay. Click that link right now. Go pick up the guide. Every single thing in it is going to be something that's going to come up in the first month of your gig. So you might as well figure it out beforehand. Okay. Don't wait. Don't get yourself into bad positions. Waste the time you spend in between good gigs is just lost. It's just lost. That's right. That's right, Kat. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but he's saying I'm right, okay? Because I am. You're going to need to know all of this information, all right? It's a few $100. It's super affordable. Go pick it up and use it. It's going to save you so much headache. Oh my God, dude, if I had this guide like a year and a half ago, boom, 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 I would be where I am now in like that month. So save yourself a year and a half of, okay, kind of mediocre gigs, some better than others. Some were fun. Some were okay. Why not just go straight to it? I made this for you because I know you're going to need it. I made it for you because I needed it. And I've closed over $1 million in my own businesses and for my clients. So I just wanted to make something that everybody's going to need and just provide a ton of value, right? I mean, I tell you literally what this question is going to tell you and why it's important, okay? And I'm probably going to elaborate a little bit more on all these. This is just like the free. You can just go get this for free in the description of this video. But, these other ones are just, tools in your tool bag as a closer. All about tools in the tool bag. Objection handling. Going to have to handle objections. So this is for people that, are going to be, that you want to be a closer. You've been doing it for at least 6 months. Or if you just got out of your first course, that's cool too. There's no problem there. I mean, if you're going to want this too. If you just got out of your first course and you want to have a good experience, you're going to want to have this. It's going to be miserable. You're not going to know everything. I've made plenty of money in business, and I didn't come prepared and have all this compiled in one place in organized fashion with a system, a method of using it properly, so that I get all the information that I need up front, so I can literally grade this deal. I can grade this potential gig. I can grade this potential partner that I'm going to be partnering with, so that I make sure I get everything that I need to make sure that it is motivating and all the incentives are aligned. And I'm not sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for something good to happen when things aren't getting done in the background. They don't have they don't have content made. They don't have all their content made. They don't have a backlog of content to release. It's just a mess, right? So you want to make sure that you don't find this out until later. If you don't ask, how are you going to know? How are you going to know if you don't have? You're never going to know. There is no way to know unless you ask, and you're going to need to ask up front, and you need to ask for what you really want up front. You don't want to be backwards negotiating. Bad look. That's a bad look. Don't do that. You have to be negotiated all up front. And if you don't know what to negotiate for, if you don't even know, like, this is big in real estate. There's a lot of methods to make money in real estate, and you need to know the different kinds of real estate of transactions that are available to make, in what scenarios you would do what in. So I would just let you guys know that you're going to want to be able to actually gauge if this is a good and worthy gig to you or not. You might be too good for the gig that you're at. Like I said, if you're not making $1,000 a day at a gig, you're absolutely doing it wrong. The money is there. Trillions of dollars are transacted around the world every day. The sales calls have been happening since business became real. All right. You're going to want to know, either in your own business or working for a closer. Maybe you have your own business. Maybe you have your own business and you want to know how to close better for your own business. This isn't really for you, but this type of training is. I'm going to be doing things on that for people that just want to close better in their own business as well. So I think that's about all I have for you guys here today. It's getting to be about 3:30 a.m. here in Austin. It's a beautiful summer night out here, and I'm just really glad I got to get this out to you guys, get you this video. And I really hope this provided a lot of value for you, and I really hope this saves you a lot of headaches. So, again, my name is Phil, and I'll see you guys later.